I've got this wheelchair and everybody's looking at me and wanting to help. And at some point in time, I just want to kind of be whatever normal is. I mean, the normal is different for everybody.
Welcome back to Two Caring Gents, where real stories meet real people. Today's episode is going to be unique. It's going to be different than last week's and the weeks before that. So I really hope you enjoy listening. And please comment below and let us know of any topics you want to talk about or input you want to hear.
Brent Rasmussen, thanks for coming on the Two Caring Gents show.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. One selfish shout out to our guy, Jake Dawson. Good can scan, get the mic out of the way. Love you, brother. Love the post that you did. Anybody that gets a chance, check out Good Scan Cans. See what Jake and his wife Taylor are up to. And dude, just a blessing to have you on the show, man.
I appreciate having me. This is fun.
Yeah. Connect the dots. So, and it's Two Caring Gents show. So there's obviously one. Yeah.
There's just two of us today, I guess. So we made it work.
Actually, it actually fits the show even better. Yeah. We're Nick Howe, you know, my partner in crime, isn't feeling well today. Nick, love you, man. He's okay. Sometimes we say Nick's not well. People kind of get freaked out. Nick's doing okay. Nick, love you, buddy. I'll call you after the show. He texted me on the way up. And thank you for being willing to still do the show today.
No worries.
So, dude, connect the dots. Like, how did you and Nick meet?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like through the adaptive sports world, we just see people that we feel are in wheelchairs or somehow adaptive, and we just approach them, and people are like, "That's crazy."
Yeah.
And so actually, I was eating at lunch by myself, which is very unusual. It will never happen.
Right.
And I'm just sitting there, and I see him come in. He's hanging out with some guys, and I just approached him and let him know, "Hey, this is what we do with adaptive sports." And usually, people are like super kind of like don't want to talk about it. Especially, he was with 2 or 3 other guys.
Yes.
And I'm like, they're probably going, what is this dude doing? Or why is he asking these questions and stuff? And he was open to talking, and we exchanged cards, and then we chatted, and it was great.
You're okay, this makes sense. You're the reason you started playing tennis and hockey. Mm-hmm. You're the reason.
Yeah.
And I remember him saying the name. We're going to get to this because everybody in Omaha knows who Brent Rasmussen is. I mean, dude, I'm 45. I remember your story. And so I remember this, and I think that's such a beautiful thing. Like, you guys are at a random spot for lunch. It's just what you do. You see somebody, and a lot of this show is about that as well. Just no limitations, but it takes somebody like Brent walking up to Nick and sparking that fire.
Yeah, it's because it's weird. It happened to me. They, from my accident and such, people just reached out, and they did it weird ways. They contact university and through friend, and through another person. And that's how, unfortunately, still how our adaptive sports has to work. We just have to just track down people and just approach them. And I can't believe how many people I've approached in airports, and they're open to a conversation sometimes. It doesn't always work out, but it's better than usually it'd be like, what are you doing, weirdo? Like, why are you bothering me?
More times than not, when you walk up to them, they're just inviting it.
Yeah, man, they're open to it.
So let's do it. Tell us the story, man. Like, what happened?
Well, so shortly after, very after, about 6 months after my stint of playing with the Kansas City Royals organization, minor leagues, I was just starting my first job in the mortgage business, and that's what I still do today. And I was traveling behind a lady on the interstate, and she slid out of control, landed in the ditch in the side of Interstate 80, right at the Greenwood exit, like mile marker 420. And so I got out of the car to help her. And I remember the reason why we still got out of the car is because when I used to go to UNO for college, I had a rear-wheel drive car that was atrociously bad to get around. And I remember like around 72nd Interstate there and F Street, there's like a slight hill, but I couldn't get up the street going north towards Dodge Street. And I was stuck there for an hour. And I think 100 people went around me and honked and flipped me off and was like mad. And I'm like, well, if one of you would just stop and like,
we can fix this.
Everybody behind me can get through too, but I can't do much about it. So I never forgot that. After I had that car, I got a 4-wheel drive truck because I felt so dumb on the fact that I'm like holding up half the city in traffic, right? And so that's what happened. When I seen somebody spin out of control, I stopped and just got out and helped. And within seconds, another car slid out of control in the same spot and hit me there next to the vehicle and became an amputee. And then luckily a story came out from the World Herald and some other people reached out to me to get involved in adaptive sports. And so I'm just trying to pay it back and find other people out there in the community that, want to be and do something different, not just sit around and, hey, feel sorry for me because I had something weird happen.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, sitting here, I think what's beautiful, man, is like, you'd never know.
Right.
Right. I mean, it's just, you've lived such a productive and beautiful life, successful in family, successful in business. That's just amazing. Do you remember the accident, or did it were you conscious during all of it?
Yes. Oh yeah. Very much conscious. Yeah. As we chatted before, I never have been good with blood or medical stuff. And when I got hit by a car at 55 miles an hour, it fractured my femur and then it landed my foot next to my head. When the ambulance showed up, which it was a volunteer ambulance from Greenwood, they had to straighten my leg out from up here.
So it was stuck.
Oh yeah, it was broken, and it was just your leg was broken. So the way that it was shattered.
The story I watched, like three places in the femur.
Yep.
And then below knee was just
shattered. Ankle was just shattered, and the left leg was completely severed off. So yeah, I was awake the whole time going, but I didn't know the extent of the injuries at all. And thankfully, there was the ROTC reservists were training down in Lincoln. And they got done with their shift.
What are the odds?
Thankfully, they came by because they at least knew how to, give some blankets, try to keep me warm. Don't go into shock. Try to do all those things because if there was nobody else to stop, I don't know what would. I'm sure nothing good would happen, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Dude. So it's kind of crazy.
Thanks for sharing your story, because I think so. Again, 45. Like, I graduated from Millard South 1998. And I remember your story. So anybody watching this, is a really cool story you can still find on Channel 7, 2002. And you had dark hair back then, and you were, so it was you were working. It was all about therapy and the rehab that you were doing, etc.
Yeah.
So you can still go see stuff on Brent online. Like, you can find it. So I was doing my homework.
Probably on VHS still, maybe.
Yeah, dude, it was on YouTube. Yeah, somewhere.
Somebody uploaded it.
My mom probably has it. My mom probably has it in the basement on VHS. That was her thing. She recorded everything. How far at the Royals did you make it?
Just to A-ball, and I just saw guys getting released pretty quickly. And I had a great season, great stats, but I didn't want to coach the rest of my life. And it just wasn't for me. And so I wanted to finish my degree. That was always important to my family. And I could just see if I kept playing ball, I don't know if I had got back, right?
Yeah.
And so I just said, I'm going to go and finish college and get done. And I felt it was the best decision for me. I had a great summer playing, but it's like I had to kind of just make the adult decision and move forward. So you can be good, but it's crazy when every level you go up, you're just like, all right, now there's other people. And now there's other people. And when you get there even, it's like kind of crazy.
Yeah. So. I played at Hastings College. There's a left-handed pitcher, but, and now like the guys are averaging, the average fastball, I think, is over 94 miles an hour, something like that.
Yeah.
What position were you?
So I pitched in the minors.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
right-handed, left-handed?
Well, it was funny. I was right-handed, and I used to relief for the starter that threw 95, and I come in throwing like 86, 87, maybe top out at 90. And it's like I'm throwing it slow compared to our starter. So it's interesting. It still worked if you could pitch. So it was a fun experience.
Just pinpoint accurate, just
Maddox, move it around, use different pitches, all kinds of stuff. So it's like, I had to be crafty. I'm not blowing it by anybody at that level, because even at A-ball, there was guys we went up against back then. This was 20 plus years ago. They were throwing 100 miles an hour, and I went up. I used to hit in college too, so I was like, "Hey, what does 100 look like?" And they're like, "Yeah, you don't got time to think. You just."
Did you ever get up against it?
No, because I only pitched.
You were
back
PO
then,
at that
they
point.
would not let you do both. I'm like, I can go hit, and they're like, no, we don't want to. It's like, whatever, that's
they
all right.
They shut me down in college. I didn't hit well enough to hit in college. I was a PO by the time I got to college. I think the fastest I ever faced was 92.
Okay,
and my perception of it, and you probably faced that. Where'd you go to college at?
UNO.
Okay, and then where was high school at?
Ralston.
All right, go Rams.
There you go.
Dude, Shockey?
Yeah.
Kurt Shockey, baby.
Yeah.
And Jason.
Kurt and Colin and Jason.
Colin and Jason. And I think both boys are still coaching, or at least one of them is for sure.
Yeah, Jason's still coaching, I know for sure.
Yeah. That's awesome. They're both, one of them's pretty close to good buddy Ryan Zink and his kids in town too.
So I played with Ryan at UNO. He played at UNO with us.
Okay.
Ryan Zink did. Yeah.
Oh, you would have been on the team with him.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Ryan was. I don't know how many couple
years
he played.
He went to Northwest Missouri after that.
Oh, did he?
So,
okay.
Yeah, Zink, I'll text you. Sorry, man. We pull you right into the show, dude. That's crazy that you're on that team.
Yeah.
So then you made the jump to the pros, and then how many years were you in the minors?
Just the one summer. The one summer.
Okay.
Because what was crazy is I was working at Kellogg's as summer help from a buddy of mine, and we were making $23-24 an hour,
crushing it
in college
in 2002.
So we're making thousands of dollars a week, and then I go to the minor leagues and they're paying us $300 a month, and I'm just like, I blew 20 grand as a college kid just that summer in the minor leagues.
Yeah.
Because you did nothing but go to practice, and then you went to the bar, and that's really all you did. You didn't really there wasn't that much to do. And so anyways, the only way a lot of those guys can make it is signing early and then using your signing bonus to play. If you were just a free agent get picked up, it's a grind, and you're just poor. And
What town was that? Where's that?
We were in Haines City, Florida, which was down outside of Kissimmee, like 15 minutes from Disney, kind of. So we spent a lot of time around Disney,
on the east
down
side.
in Orlando, area. So
But one summer and that cash is just
yes, I
$300
was
a
lucky
month.
because Coach Harold at UNO said, whatever you do, if you go down there, take your vehicle because otherwise you'll be bored out of your mind. And so thankfully, I took my truck down there, and so we were able to get off site and go do stuff and be out and about. But you just kind of, you get bored. Like back then it was like, don't throw too much because you only got so many pitches in you. So if you pitch like twice a week and then maybe you threw a bullpen once or twice.
Yeah.
And that's all you did. You just sat around. And for me, sitting around and watching people play, that's not really fun for me.
No, and watching YouTubes and watching your career, man, like you like to go.
Yeah. I learned that in high school. I went to go catch. I'm like, great, I can touch the ball every play. I can pitch and then I can catch and then I get to touch the ball every time. So it's great.
Man, we just missed each other.
Yes,
we
very
had
much.
to be right at the same age. And those were special years, man. Millard South, West Side.
And Ralston, we're all up there every year.
Oh, man.
For a few
Prep,
years,
there was
95
guys.
to 98, yeah.
That's awesome.
And Prep, you're right. Prep was up there too. Still, all those guys running through around town.
Yeah, that's crazy. It was good to go. It's good to go down memory lane. So we got the UNO thing, and then the timing of the accident, dude, that has to just be because you just get done with your professional career. Are you still like in practice to be a mortgage broker?
I just started like 2.5 months into the job. So this was in February, and I started like around October, but it was 100% sales job. So it's, you get what you get paid and make calls and such. And so, thankfully I was lucky. The company that I worked for had workman's comp. So at least I was traveling on work, going back to the office. And that's been a huge blessing in my world, is to not worry about all the hospital bills. And I still go to regular orthopedic doctor appointments to make sure we're staying on top of stuff and all that jazz. And that was super crazy because as a financial guy, that's the first thing you'll think about is paying your bills and what's going to happen long term and all these different things that happen. So I was real blessed in regards to that. Yeah. So much. But it was a challenge, weird. It's like 3 months into it, your first career job, and then this happens at 24 years old.
Yeah.
It's just eye-opening experience that you don't think in your 20s you're going to have something, especially as an athletes don't ever think something weird like that's going to happen.
Unbreakable, man. Like nothing's bad's going to happen to us.
Right.
So then what does recovery look like?
That's what's weird is like, because of such a, timing of my life, I go and speak a lot often and PTs and rehab people like, what was rehab like? I'm like, honestly, I didn't do 1 minute of rehab. None.
Wow.
No one even offered it to me, I don't think.
Huh.
I think I went and talked to a counselor one day for like 1 hour. And they were kind of like, all right. And I don't know, I was just so motivated as as an athlete. It's just a different step for me. It's like I was so excited to get out of a wheelchair because for a while there, that's all I could do is get around.
How long was that period?
I was in the hospital for 30 days.
Okay.
And then I was bedridden at home for about another 30 days.
Okay.
And then I could start using a wheelchair. And I wasn't supposed to get out, but I would just get out and do stuff, right? It's like, you're not going to keep sitting down. And so, I'd sneak out of the house during the daytime and go places and just get away. Because then it was like, okay, I got really upset at everybody trying to help you. Like everybody wanted to help and they meant well. But at some point in time, you're tired of being the center of attention. And it's like you're pushing a wheelchair and everybody wants to hold the door and everybody wants to make sure you're okay. And you're just like, I just want to get back to normal. I just want to like not have everybody sit there and worry about what's going on. And so I got my leg, I think 4th of July. The accident was in February. And I got my leg in like July. I remember just start walking around and just start doing it and just, I don't know, it's painful, but it just was better than, having a big wheelchair you're lugging around all the time and just start getting into it. Didn't do any rehab
Never
at all.
had formal therapy.
No.
That's crazy, which I'm sure if we talked to the docs, there'd be a reason around that, like just how complicated it was or you were so active that it's like, this guy's he's going to just go.
Yeah.
But we talk about it a lot, obviously, with Nick, and we've had a lot of people on here that have had a lot of just really traumatic medical challenges, right? Go back to that part where I think those of us that haven't had a challenge like that, Brent, like what's the most beneficial thing we can do? And is it the same for treat you normal, or You know where I'm going with this?
Yes,
Like,
I do. I get it.
What is the best?
Because I travel a lot with our wheelchair softball team.
Yeah.
And I've learned a lot over 23 years with traveling with those guys. And, our wives want to jump in and sometimes help. And most of the time, the guys want to do things on their own. And so every person is different. And then how I explain it for most is ask how they want to be treated. If they don't want any extra attention, don't give them any extra attention. And so sometimes people will be rude or say something.
Yeah.
And that person's just going to be a rude person, whether they're in a wheelchair or they're not in a wheelchair. And some people want a lot of help, and some people want to be really independent. Like half our guys in our team, they don't want to be helped at all. They want nothing. I remember watching guys in Japan, we could help them maybe get up a couple steps, and they refused and said they would crawl up themselves just because I get it now. I mean, it's part of your dignity and who you are. Like everybody's kind of having to do something for you. You don't want that. And I remember that when I was going through it and like, okay, I've got this wheelchair and everybody's looking at me and wanting to help. And at some point in time, I just want to kind of be whatever normal is. I mean, the normal is different for everybody, but just be treated like you treat everybody else, regardless if you're in a wheelchair or not. I remember in order to get out of the hospital, I was on so many drugs for so long, but in the hospital, but the way I could leave was I had to use the restroom by myself. It took over 30 days
Had to prove that.
to go to the restroom because I had so much drugs in me. It just, things weren't working right. And people just didn't, I don't know. It's just, that was like the most frustrating thing. I'm like, how hard is this? We've done this our whole life. You go to the bathroom. Like, how do you not be able to do it? But when you're on drugs, it just doesn't do.
Yeah.
I mean, not like on bad drugs, but drugs that you have to take for pain and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And finally, when that happened, you're like, wow, your life has come down to celebrating going to the bathroom.
And you're 24.
And you're 24, right? And then your next step is like, okay, can I get into my house? And then we had friends, thankfully, that built us a ramp, and I got in the house, and it's like, okay, good. At least I feel like I can get in and out of my own house, right? And so just those little steps that you just get back to your regular life is huge for people, to feel whatever normal is.
I think that's really powerful for us to hear too. And we've talked about this with death and with illness is don't try to fill the void. I think a lot of times as friends or as cohorts or family, I'm going to keep talking until I make them feel better. And I think, Brent, you said something that's been really consistent on the show is just listen, and observe, right? It might be somebody that really wants a lot of assistance, and it might be somebody that wants a ton of independence, right? But if you just go in assuming that this is what they want, you might completely hit the mark of what they want.
Well, and I've run into this a lot lately, like you mentioned, with funerals. It's like you go into people and I've done this a lot now from my adaptive world is, I don't know what to say to you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I don't know, I'm sorry for your loss. I'm sorry for all those things, but I don't know what to say. And that's okay to say that. I would tell people that's good to say versus, like you mentioned, talking the ear off or, bringing up old memories that might not be good. And you're just like, ask them what they want. And if they don't know either, that's okay. It's just, communication is tough. It's challenging when those things happen.
You mentioned faith. Like, where's church?
Church is down here at Kuntz Memorial, downtown on 27th and Farnham.
Classic.
So we go downtown.
Classic. The beautiful building.
Yes, very much so. So we've been getting back. It's been great. Lately, I've just spaced it off, but we have a very strong food bank.
Oh,
and
nice.
so we've been coming down and volunteering, and that's been a huge thing that I've enjoyed just to give back. It feels great just to help, and because you're seeing people come through that are literally, I'd never understood how you could live on the streets in wintertime, these cold days. It just, it's crazy.
Is your guys' food bank, they're just walking right in?
Yep.
I mean, they know when it's open and they're coming right in.
Exactly.
Wow, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, my girls so I've got 12, 10, and 5-year-old girls, and I'm this close with the 12-year-old because I just know how impactful it is from me volunteering.
Yeah.
But yeah, I asked about the faith component of it because I think our pastor, we've had a lot of loss at our church in the last 90 days. Still a relatively smallish church, like good size, but still we know when somebody passes,
Yeah.
And he perpetually says that. I think it's so smart. He's like, guys, don't try to fill the void. Give them a hug. Tell them you love them. And, and how I'm relating this back to illness or disability is when Nick was so sick, almost 2 years ago now, when he was in the hospital bed and they were trying to sew him up. So I don't know, he had grade 4s.
Yes.
Both trocaners and his tailbone. And that's the thing, like, when I went in, I just gave him a hug, told him I love him, sat there, drank coffee, and we just shot and just shoot the shoot and just talk about it. And that is all he needed. It's just somebody to sit there for an hour and a half and just treat them like normal.
Well, I remember one of my closest buddies that I played baseball with at UNO, Dr. Siebler now, he's an orthopedic surgeon at the Med Center. Justin Siebler.
Who's Ralston as well.
He's leaking Southeast.
There was a Siebler at Ralston too, wasn't there?
There could have been.
We're going to get off track. He went in. Sorry. Anyways.
But I mean, yes, he was always interested in medical and orthopedic and all that stuff. But honestly, I remember for 30 days, he'd come to the hospital every day and just sit over there in the corner and he would read his paper, he'd do anything. And it wasn't like he even said anything or we talked or anything, just showing up every day, stopping and saying hi.
Every day, though.
I remember it being at least for a couple weeks. I mean, it wasn't just 1 or 2 days.
You guys still buddies?
Yeah, we live close together.
There you go.
We don't see each other enough, but it's always something I do remember about that time. Is like buddies would come by. And then it's just later on, too, checking in. I think a lot of times when a death has happened, everybody goes to the wake, the visitation, the funeral. And then after that, everybody's kind of gone. And so you're trying to, pick up. That's when you need people is 3 months later when something's not going on or not going right. And those guys all stuck by my side. And it was great. I remember one of my buddies, Brian Kudum, got married and a month or 2 after my accident, because I was still in the wheelchair. I'm like, I'm not going in your wedding. I don't want to be in a wheelchair in your wedding and your wedding pictures. I don't want to be in there at all. And they're like, no. And they pretty much made me because I didn't want to do it. I was like, this is going to look dumb in your pictures. And I'm sitting over there and they're like, no, we want you there.
You're in it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it just was so, they were just so supportive all the time, obviously. And it's great.
I think we're blessed too, man, playing sports. And I'm not, and whether it's sports or it's band or it's academics or something, but I just and as we're getting older, right, we're basically the same age.
Yeah.
I was having a conversation with somebody earlier today, just the importance of community, right? Because your sports brothers and sisters, like at Hastings, we were tight with the soccer team and the softball, like that, you have community.
Yep.
And you never know. We always talk about it in here, Brent, you never know when the storm's coming. You're having a perfectly normal day.
Yeah.
Right. And any of us could walk out of here and it's, having that community around you and, worst that we leave this place, that my wife, my girls have this community that are going to come and support them. And I just, I think this time we're living in, man, we're just trying to get people to stop being isolated, try to get out. We had 4 20 and unders today at F3. Which was cool.
That is great to see because I talk about this a lot with, it seems like, and I can't judge a whole category of people.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. The millennials just haven't really I don't see on a bigger level, filled in and kind of gave back on volunteer and just been different places, right?
Yeah.
And we see that. And it's just kind of interesting where, you don't know when you need those people, and then all of a sudden by just being around, and you're right. I tell everybody I love sports, and sports did a ton for me, but that's not everybody's jam. So if it's music or it's guitar or whatever it is, you have friends that will be there for a lifetime, not just a week, 2 month, whenever you need it.
Yeah. And in the extended, right? Not when it's catastrophic. To your point, and I always, from all the time that I spent in healthcare and around death and end of life, because a lot of times I did a lot of home health.
Okay.
So I'd see patients in the home, they'd get better, but I'd create this relationship with the family, right? And trust is everything, especially when somebody's home.
Yeah.
And then when that patient was at end of life, I would get a phone call in the last couple of days to say, they're passing away, they want to see you.
Okay.
And that, that reminds me to make sure just how much I appreciate the community and people that care about me. And to your point, it's not just at that difficult moment, but it's the guys and the gals that stayed close to you 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year, didn't treat you differently. But if you don't have those relationships prior, man, you're going to go through that stuff solo.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and what's really weird, there's so many weird things that happen in timing in my life, but I mean, it was no more than 9 months before my accident. My dad passed away of a massive heart attack working out on the treadmill. And I was on my honeymoon at the time. So I come back from my honeymoon, I bury my father and see the same people I saw a week before at my wedding, right?
Oh my goodness.
And then we have this accident that happens and everybody's back around again. And so everybody kind of was like, oh, I'm sure there's tons of conversation on the side I didn't hear about, but yeah, it was challenging. It took a while to get through. I mean, but everybody was just around, and that helped a ton just to have somebody to, be around with and not be just dealing with it all by yourself.
Well, in your case in point though, too, brother, what you've done with your life, and the success that you've had, and I'm always careful with success, being a family man, and then the success that you've had professionally, but also, man, just like how strong you made our community, and that you didn't, because you had that backbone, because you are who you are, that now you've provided so much value back. I mean, you and Nick, man, that's like, we knew you were coming on the show. Talk about two of the biggest inspirations in terms of just people, right, in Omaha.
Well, thanks for saying that, because my parents, I never think about it until after I start speaking and stuff. And I'm like, where do I get all this drive from? And our parents were just not allowing us to be not successful. They're just like, you don't have an option. You're going to college and you're going to do this and blah, blah, blah. And it was just even so little memories. I remember if our parents didn't drop us off 15 minutes early back then, you were late, And
Mom said 15 minutes earlier, you're late.
Yeah.
That's in the Channel 7 story.
Yeah, there you go. And it's just things like that you're like, wow, you just don't realize how much an upbringing that makes a difference later on in life of being, just showing up every day, right?
Yeah.
It's like you don't have to totally dominate everything. Just show up every day, and eventually things will start coming your way.
Brother, that's such a great call, man. Like those of us that we were blessed enough to have great households, and every parent's different, and no parent's perfect,
right?
But gosh dang, man, that's such a great call. That how many kids, and I ask people to try to mentor. Right. Do big brothers, big sisters.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't even need to be that. Like somebody that lives on your block that maybe the household's having challenges for other reasons. Mentor somebody. Like try to help a kid out, because like 16, 17, even younger than that, 14, 15, 16, 17, that they don't have somebody that said, I care about you. Take them out, to get a burger, like just to listen to them. It's just, I mean, what you went through, right, without the way you were brought up and without
be totally different.
Yeah, we're not sitting here.
Yeah, and I get a call. I mean, it would be probably every month still to this day, or every couple of weeks. Somebody knows a friend that's had an accident, and like, hey, will you go? We don't know how to ask this, but would you go talk? Like, yes, I'd love to go talk to those people, because they don't sometimes know what they don't know, and usually there's never any massive questions, but just knowing, hey, I was you 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, whatever the thing is.
Yeah.
And we stop in and say people. I just went and did a presentation about adaptive sports at Madonna Rehab the other day.
Nice.
We walk in, this girl just has recent amputation too, and we start talking, and she's in the mortgage business too, and she's like, yeah, right before I got in my accident, I was just starting to train to be a scuba diver. I go, really? I just got back from scuba diving in Honduras for like a week. She goes, you can scuba dive with missing a foot? Like, yeah, you can do whatever you want. It's totally fine. And she was like, wow, and just how energized it was. And when I first started playing after softball, I started playing wheelchair basketball. Then I played sitting volleyball.
Yeah.
And I called this girl. I heard about her. She was 15 years old. I was 26, right? And it's like back in the day, once we didn't have really cell phones, I was calling her house, trying to get to talk to her parents to say, hey, we need to get your daughter involved in sitting volleyball. I mean, I called them for months and they just never answered. It's like, who's this weirdo dude from Omaha? And they were Western Nebraska, and so they didn't know. And finally I was like, just come to Omaha and let's just meet and I'll introduce you. Out. She started training. We started practicing together. She made the women's team. She's got gold medal, silver medal, and a bronze medal in the Paralympics. And so that's how our adaptive sport sometimes has to work. It's just talking to people and just going, hey, do you know this is even out there? No. Okay, let's just try it. And then next thing you know, it's just, especially the younger generations. I'm working with a girl now, and she is 17, just turned 18. And again, she didn't know this really existed of sitting volleyball as well. And so her mom reached out, hey, will you do coaching? And I'm like, I really don't, but I will to get you going. And we practiced for a good year. She went down to Chile just about 2 months ago for the Junior Pan American game, wins a gold medal. And she's just all over, social, and she's just all over life, and just how much that's changed her confidence and positivity about having an amputee your whole life, because we see this happen with kids that go through elementary school. I remember how mean kids were as I remember from elementary school on. I got picked on a ton, right?
Dude, I was the chubby kid. I was the chubby kid in ninth grade.
Really?
Brent, it was brutal. I got crushed.
Well, I got the big ears, so they weren't really like hideable. So it's like,
what are we going to do? You can't pull them back.
Staple them. That was a conversation we had to go staple your ears. Yes, that was a conversation.
My 12-year-old's in 7th grade, man, dude. And thankfully, like where she's going is amazing. But yeah, keep going.
No.
It's brutal.
It's brutal. And then you have some kind of a disability. You're in a wheelchair using crutches. You got a prosthetic. It makes, kids are kids, and they're just gonna, And so to give them some kind of different opportunity or confidence to play a sport and then realize, oh, there are other people out there like me.
Yeah.
Let's do it. So
let's get into that. So adaptive sports, is it just like T-ball? Like, does it start at a pretty, and I'm going to pause. So I have a niece that has arthrogryposis, and she gets to play. She plays adapted baseball in the summer.
Okay.
But like for parents out there that are listening to that have a child, like how does this start?
We try to get them in as young as possible, but the difference with adaptive sports used to be called disabled sports, and then they've kind of worked more into the word adaptive than disabled. Same thing.
Yeah.
But the biggest problem is most of the adaptive sports is more upper body strength.
Okay.
Right. And so because you're in a wheelchair, you're not using your legs. And most of us, all the sports that we grow up with, we're running, jumping, we're using our legs or have way bigger muscles than your shoulders and your arms do.
Yeah.
And so that's why my shoulders and upper body are so much stronger from doing wheelchair sports or doing sitting volleyball.
Yeah.
So we want to get kids even as young as 6 years old playing.
Yeah.
But sometimes there's not enough of them, or they might not be strong enough to be able to shoot the basketball or hit the softball or something, but we have ability to fit them in wherever.
You can figure something out.
Totally.
Yeah, there's a sport that they can mold into.
Yeah, and with adaptive sports, it is it's a numbers game. When you talk about how many people are disabled in the country, and then the small percentage of those are actually playing sports, we don't have two teams in Omaha to compete against each other. So if we want to go play, you go to Kansas City or Minneapolis or Chicago or Denver. And so the travel and the cost for adaptive sports gets to be a lot more than, I know everybody nowadays does travel, but you can play any sport you want almost in Omaha with the population, right?
Yeah.
And so that's a caveat there, but we would love to get anybody involved. And sometimes there's not a sport that they really love, but they find, hey, they're going to be doing this or going to be doing that, and they just know this is the only programming available, and we get them going and all that stuff.
Is your shirt? Is that where you if somebody's listening to this, like that's just as a place to start? And obviously, I know, knowing Brent, guys, he's gonna reach out. So like, if you ping Brent, even though you're super busy, like he's gonna reach out. So get a hold of him, find him on LinkedIn, find him online. But tell us about Nebraska Adaptive Sports.
Yeah, it used to be called NWAL, Eastern Nebraska Wheelchair Athletic Association. Too many words.
Yeah.
So we changed it Nebraska Adaptive Sports.
You lost me. Yeah.
And so it's been around since 1975, actually.
Wow.
So it's been a long time. I got involved, obviously, after my accident. They reached out because they knew I was a past athlete. And that's how we do. We just hear word of mouth. It's so weird. You watch the news and somebody gets in a motorcycle accident. And the next thing you know, you're like, do you know that guy that was in the accident? And somebody goes, you should go talk to him. And we try to just reach out that way because we're thankful for the media stations that report bad accidents.
Yeah.
But otherwise, a lot of times I will tell you the doctors and the hospitals and the places don't always know or don't know how to approach somebody about it and let them know, hey, if you're interested in sports, we have a ways for you to get back in. Because as you know, in your medical experience, the amount of individuals that are obese and out of shape from a wheelchair just because you can't burn calories the same and be as active. But just being out there with guys like them, it's so great. And so it's been really kind of my rehab, honestly. And so I help run Nebraska Adaptive Sports now just because we got all volunteers. We don't have any kind of people on staff, and we just help take care of different programming and just try to get people involved. And our wheelchair softball team has been a big, huge family, and it's been great for everybody to play. And we win. Winning always helps, but that's always good.
I want to go to that success. So, this is something that anybody, though, that has a passion for helping, because it's all volunteer.
Yep.
Right?
Totally.
So, and even medical awareness is what's kind of getting in my brain right now is really trying to get this word out that they might say no, like an individual might say no. But what you're saying is how many individuals fall into the cracks because they just never, we just never introduced the idea.
I think the biggest thing we struggle with is transportation. Like our city doesn't have public transportation. And a lot of individuals, if they're not close to a place where we practice, have no way of getting there. And they're living off of Social Security in their apartment. And so it's challenging for them to get to those places. But we have a good network. We've talked to the PT and OT up at Creighton every year and let them know. And actually those guys come in and help volunteer, just hang out at practice, just shagging balls, because it's just different than, you go into a regular practice, everybody's running around picking up their own balls. There, we only might have one night a week that we get the gym space or the field or the court.
Yep.
And having those guys, any person that wants to volunteer, we love having them around. That helps us practice and get better each week.
I personally will be in touch.
Cool.
Like, I mean it. I mean it. Like
Love it.
I want to get involved. And also I think a lot of part of this show is no one's left behind. Like we don't want people falling through the cracks and trying to just awareness and where you can go when there's a challenge. There are outlets.
Yes.
There's so many outlets. It's like LLS for Nick. Like I saw like what that did for Nick in terms of confidence, in terms of, just ongoing meaning after firefighting wasn't going to be a thing anymore. And this is the same thing. Like everybody deserves dignity. Everybody deserves a purpose, but we got to get them to that community.
Right.
We got to get them there.
And we get questions a lot. What doesn't even fall into what we do, but at least we know other organizations. We're
get
like,
'em.
hey, we'll get it over here. We'll get it over here. Like there's a strong blind and visual impaired group in town.
Yeah.
And even though that falls under Paralympics, sometimes they have better programming for their stuff. And so
Yeah.
we connect them together. And so, if anybody has something, we just want to connect them and sports obviously is my passion. So it's simple fit. But
Sure.
we have guys on our teams that are really not athletic at all. But
Yeah.
they love just coming because it's a group of people that they can relate to and appreciate, and hang
Yeah.
out with. And some of them I don't want to play. I just want to sit on the bench and cheer you guys on because it's fun, and so that's
community,
like
man.
great. Yeah, totally.
So let's do it. How much have you won? Like, okay, so, sorry, but it's crazy. Like our Nebraska team, I studied up on like the last couple of days on go through the success. So you have volleyball, so go through the gambit. Like what have you all played? What are your sports?
Yeah,
Sorry.
No, it's all right. I'm lucky to play softball, and we've won now 16 national titles, world titles. It keeps going back and forth out of 21 years, 22 years, but we've made.
So it's been active for 22 years.
A wheelchair softball's been active since the 70s and 80s, actually.
The national championship, though?
Yes, so we play a national championship, but then for a while we got some international teams to come in and play as well too.
And that's 22. That's the one that's 22 years, or one of those years. That one's 22 years.
So we
old.
lost we won this last year, lost the last year, and then a couple of years in there, Japan beat us in the finals, and they allowed Japan to win the national championship.
Huh. Okay. Well,
you're a sports person, so you get this. No one else in this division got it. They said because it was called the World Series, just like baseball World Series or college World Series, that it was a world team. So we only lost by 2 runs to Japan 2 years in a row, but they this last year finally realized that, it's still a national championship. All the teams are from the United States.
versus international.
Yes.
Yeah. Does every state have a team?
Most states do.
Yeah.
Not every team, but we usually have about 20 to 24 teams every year.
That's awesome. And Nebraska's dominant.
Yeah, we're pretty much there. We're pretty much there all the time. We've
go.
only not made the championship, I think, 2 or 3 years out of the 24 years that I've been playing.
Does it rotate location?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've hosted it 3 times here. Minneapolis does a lot. Chicago does a lot.
Nice.
So it's a Midwestern teams. The best teams are in the Midwest.
Yeah.
But we've been up to New York. We've been down to Biloxi, Mississippi. We've been all over the place to play Columbus, Ohio. So
Love it.
it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
What's your position?
I get to play left field.
Okay.
So left field, you can throw out players at first base from left field.
Right. Well, and I would assume left field is, we need a stud in left field.
Yeah, the left field is kind of where the main player plays.
Yeah, because there's a lot of action. People are pulling the ball that way.
Now they're pulling it up the middle, so we get the faster guys. I'm not very fast in cheer, so we get the younger, faster guys. They cover up the middle because everybody's trying to hit it through the center gap. We play with 10 players, right? So,
Got it.
So you kind of split that gap in center.
And they're trying to split that gap all the way.
So they can get in the Parker or triple or something like that as well. So we're kind of keeping our young guys in the middle to run those balls down because I couldn't get there. But I'll work on still throwing the ball out left field.
So you still have the cannon?
It's going down as I get closer to 50. But
Aren't we all?
I'll release it quicker. That's all.
So softball, ton of success.
Yes.
Seated volleyball.
Yes.
What?
So sitting volleyball in the U.S. isn't huge.
Okay.
But we have our national teams that participate. So I played in the Athens 2004 Paralympics.
It's amazing.
And then Brazil, as most people know, is huge in volleyball. So they're in our zone.
Okay.
And we'd have to beat them to qualify. And I lost to them 3 zonals. And then I said, I'm frustrated from losing. So that's when I kind of slowed down and retired and helped do things in the United States.
Got it.
But our women's team has won gold medal now the last 3 Paralympics.
Wow.
Our men's team is usually in the top 10 in the world. And so we're just always same thing, trying to get more players. Like United States boys volleyball isn't huge.
Right.
But if you go to Europe or you go to South America, they all just play basketball, volleyball, and soccer, basically. Everything with a round ball, it's cheaper. And so these other countries are quite top in regards to playing volleyball and doing so well. So it's kind of frustrating as an athlete that's played baseball at a high level and won a lot of things to then lose in a sport. That was really humbling for me to have to kind of
You just can break through. Yeah, and in the Brazilians, it sounds like, I mean, it was, they're growing up playing it, and then there's an injury, and now like this just naturally, hey, we're going to go do this.
Yes, and so they're top 3 in the world usually all the time, and so it's hard to break through them.
How big is the court? I was watching videos. How big is that court compared to like...
6 meters by 5 meters on each side. So I would say call it 15 feet by 20 feet, 20 feet wide by 15 feet deep.
The videos are wild.
Yes.
Like you guys are, oh my goodness.
It's super fast.
Yeah,
it's
when you think about, you can't use your legs. So you have to mobilize like with your arms. Like what's legal? Like can you scoot with your legs at all?
Yeah. Oh, you can use your legs.
Okay,
you can use your legs. You just, when you make contact, you have to have one of your butt cheeks on the ground, basically, because they don't want you standing up off the ground and jump off. But a lot of people think, oh, you're sitting there. No, there's so much movement going on. And when you watch it, you're like, oh, that's easy. Then you go do it, and you're like, no, I can move like 6 inches. So that's the hardest part, is teaching people how to move with your hands, because your whole life you've just done it with your legs, right?
If you taught me to do that, I would do fault, because I would be lifting and lifting.
Everybody does.
Yes.
Because you're used to just jumping in.
And you can't. Anybody that's watching this, look it up. Because I watched it for 2 minutes, and I was, oh my gosh.
It's fun.
And it's so fast.
That's what I love about it. It's really fast. It's not slow.
Are the Paralympics usually like the month after?
Yep.
Okay.
The Olympics. Yep.
Okay.
So we got LA coming up in 2028. Winter Games are coming up here now, just in a couple weeks, actually.
Okay.
And so there's sled hockey, and they'll have different adaptive sports for the Paralympics in the Winter Games too. So
how many Olympics have you competed in?
Just the one.
Okay.
I trained for those other 3, and we didn't make it for the men's team.
Got it.
But just one for me. I wish I could get there, but that's the way it goes.
What are the para sports in like what sports are there in Paralympics?
Oh gosh, you have a lot. I mean, we try to keep most of the sports very much like the rules being the same. So you'll have like swimming is probably one of the largest ones.
Track, I've seen track.
You have wheelchair basketball. You'll have also, all the different kinds of sprinting. And that's where it gets really interesting, because they'll make sure that whoever has whatever disability they have competing against equal disabilities, because you don't want an amputee going against a, paraplegic in some sports. So some sports like basketball, everybody plays against each other, and they base it off of a point system. But when it comes to track and field, you want arm amputees running against arm amputees, and leg amputees running against leg amputees. So there's a lot of different classes in swimming and track and field. So those are the 2 kind of biggest sports. But the biggest sport in the United States is wheelchair basketball. That one is huge. And then there's also quad rugby. It used to be called murder ball.
Oh my goodness.
And so they basically play rugby in wheelchairs and hammer each other and fly around.
Are you belted in so you can't come out?
Well, they do hit each other and fly out.
So hard that they fall out.
Oh yeah, they fall over all the time, and then they got to get somebody and pick them up, and they get back going. And some guys can transfer themselves over. And
oh my goodness,
it's a fun sport. Everybody likes to watch that one because it's just constant contact and people hitting each other. And it's interesting to figure out.
And thing when you say chairs, and I think that's another thing that we want to keep gaining awareness on, is just how many folks are, have a disability and don't have the right equipment to live their life, in the best possible way they can. And that's one big thing for the Nick Howe Foundation that we're really focused on is it's just started. So Nick got his 501(c)(3).
Yes,
he's an official non-for-profit. Yes, like that was huge. And it took us, anybody that's looking into it, it took us 10 months.
Wow.
It took us 10 months to get it done. And that was with assistance. Like we had assistance, and realized early on, like, we're not capable of doing this. Like we need help.
There's a lot of stuff. I didn't realize that. It took that long nowadays.
Because it, and anybody out there that, there's been, obviously, there's stories out there that say pretty bad, there's people that abuse it.
Yes.
But
anything.
I mean, you send your stuff in, and then the federal government sends you back a document, and we had to write up, this is the mission, this is the vision, these are the pillars of what we're going to go after. And you don't know anything, Brent. And then all of a sudden there's just this letter from the IRS.
Yes or no.
And it's like, you're good. That was a big day. That was, he texted me that right at the holidays.
Oh,
so it was
awesome.
so special, man. It was so special. But just how many people are not, able. I mean, because the cost thing, the gaps in insurance. I'm not bad mouthing insurance. I mean, there's a lot of challenges out there, but just how many folks don't have what they need.
It's huge, and like. Then, if you're just talking about basic need to get around every day, okay, that's a huge expense. But then you're all talking about, okay, now you want to play a sport, then you got to spend a $3,000 to $5,000 wheelchair, and then you're going and using it to hammer against each other, and then it breaks. Then you can't play. As able-bodied people, we're not used to like, oh, I can't go play my sport today because my wheelchair is broken or whatever.
I blew out my pair of shoes. I'm getting a new pair of shoes. Not a $5,000 pair of shoes.
That you can't just go and just get tomorrow at a store. You got to order it, wait a month, 2 months for them to weld it and put it together. So it's a challenging aspect for a lot of people, whether it's a running prosthetic leg or it's all that different aspects of, getting out there and doing it.
I think that's one thing we'll be in touch with you a lot about is that as we're just the avenues that working with Megan Walls a lot and other just adaptive equipment, adaptive, mobility pros in town. Mm-hmm. That's one thing we're really passionate about is just getting people what they need.
Yeah.
To be able, Nick's is a perfect example of it. It's just the chair that the chair that he came out of was something like 30 pounds. And now he's in a chair that's 9 pounds.
Right.
Crazy. And now like he can come to the show and he can do what he wants to do. But it's just how many folks like they're not getting that.
Oh no. Yeah. And transferring those into your, vehicle. And then that's what happens. I was talking about before. Then transportation goes out the window because you don't have a vehicle that you can actually pick up your wheelchair to get it into and get out. And then you're like, okay, I can't afford insurance and then can't get to my job. And so it just kind of spirals and then people just stay in their home and then they get obese and then they get unhealthy and then it doesn't last long for them. So it's just, it's sad to see so many people go through that, unfortunately.
Man, you're fighting and we're going to fight and catch as many people as we can along the way and hopefully create a little bit of a, momentum around that. Dude, tell me about the business, man. So
mortgage business is fun. There's not a normal day ever. It's always different. That's what's interesting. Dealing with different people, different things. It's always something thrown at you.
And you're on the mortgage broker side, right? Like you're not selling the house. You're putting the deal together.
Yep, we do the mortgage loan side. Okay. So we started as a broker. Now we're kind of a full-blown lender. We fund our own loans and stuff. It's just different, but it's just helping people. And that's why sometimes it's just so weird on how I'm connected. Everybody's like, okay, how do you know Brent? Oh, he did my mortgage. Well, did you know he did all those other things too? And then he volunteers over here. And so it's always we go somewhere and connect. And that's what I like about it, like giving back and making Omaha a better place. Like when I went to UNO, no one wanted to go to UNO. It was like a place that it was a commuter school. And I'm a huge UNO supporter now.
Yeah. Go Mavs.
And it's like,
Go Mavs.
It's great. People are like, oh, it's a great school. And now they have all these things going on. And things take time to be built. And that's just one that keeps, growing. I love to see down the street, just doing well.
And it's right in my backyard. And that's, so, when I came back and went to summer school there to try to get a better grade in a course getting ready for PT. And they had just built those quads.
Oh yeah.
Right. And so and prior to that, it's just like a commuter campus. You guys are playing at Westgate. You guys are the trains going by.
And that was normal to me. I don't know why.
That's a great field. Like that's a great field. But now
like that was loud. I'm like, I don't know. We just were used to it. I guess it was so weird.
Deal. That's a train. Yeah. I mean, but now like seeing the facilities and everything else, it's a super fun time. Like with UNO, and then you see the kids going across over to Exarban, living over there.
Yes.
Is in all of the professional schools. So are you involved with the school at all? Or
So I actually instruct adjunct up there for real estate finance. For what I do all day long, I teach in the fall semester.
Cool.
And I tell the students every semester, I'm like, I'm not here for money. I'm like, adjunct doesn't pay enough for my time, but I'm here because I want to give back to you guys to know what you don't necessarily know. And so I love that. And actually, I still help run our baseball's booster club. So I do a lot with Coach Porter, and we try to just actually connect all the past alumni, and just make sure they're known. Hey, let's get together. We're around once a year because it's just important. You played 4 years with a place and buddies and friends, and let's try to. You don't have to get there every year, but there's opportunities now for people to come back and hang out.
I had dinner with our right fielder from Hastings on Tuesday night.
Awesome.
And it was just another F3 guy.
There you go.
So, you remember Mike Bovey?
Oh yeah,
who got drafted. So I played for Jim. I played for his dad at Hastings.
Right. I should put those together. He's coming back to speak for our banquet here for UNO's season opener. So I'm just so happy. That's another guy that could have went anywhere, right? For a meal deal and stuck around and really wanted just to finish out at UNO. And he's still got same draft spot he probably would have got going anywhere else.
Yeah.
You know, and and it's kind of a small world because during our opportunity to fundraise for the team, a friend of mine put up some money and they invested in the tracking devices to be able to see how hard is the ball go from here to here.
All the velos
and across the whole deal. And that helped his draft status because they were able to go back the whole season and say, okay, you only maybe hit, I don't know what the number was, 300 this season
but
versus 400. But every time you hit, the miles per hour was this, your exit velo, your angle, and they're like, yeah, this is what we need is this data. And so it was kind of fun to see like, wow, you might not necessarily have to have stats because if they're just pitching around your one player every time, right? Or walk you every time, there's only so much you can do to hit. So,
well, and that's the little things too, investing in community and staying involved in where you came from.
Yeah.
Because I know the work. I have really good friend who's very involved in the hockey program.
Okay.
And what they've done to the hockey program. It's like, and then the NIL around the hockey program, like just the work that people do to make this city great.
Yes.
It's just awesome, man. I'm glad. Yeah. When I saw the draft number come out, I was just like, oh my gosh, he went so high.
Second round. It's crazy.
Crazy.
Super crazy.
Third base?
Yeah.
He's a corner?
Yeah, I don't know what he's playing I haven't seen what he's playing in the minors. If it's still third, I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
But I mean, just like the facilities, but I always say in joke, okay, I've never been a Husker fan. People can say that. That's all right. I'm only Mav fan. But it's like when you go, I see guys go away to say Lincoln maybe, and Omaha has a lot to offer for jobs.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying like, hey, if you want career paths, if you want business, Omaha is an amazing place to connect with people. I mean, it's not a Chicago or New York City, which is fine. I like that. I don't need that enormous amount of people.
Yep.
But in Omaha, you can get connected very quickly with what you need and who you want within days, not months, right?
Preach, man. Like, I mean, just, and the thing I've always loved about Omaha too is like, if you're not kind and not like, I mean, this city reaps what you sow, man.
Yes.
I mean, it's, if you're out there and you're putting a good word out and you're trying, again, to your point, when you get into a market, mid-sized market like ours, you can make a lot of impact.
Yes.
Really fast. And so,
look what's going on in the construction downtown. Everybody's like, but I get a lot of, while I don't do real estate, right? We get people from out of town that will call and ask questions, and they're reading these national stories that real estate stinks or it's changing or it's going down. And we're like, Omaha's kind of immune. Unfortunately, because of a Warren Buffett and so many nonprofits that we have and so much money, it keeps our system going where we don't have to rely on one industry or another. And it's cool to see that Omaha can flourish when we do have a recession or whatever, things slow down. It's great.
I have to be careful when we do have those recessions with having friends in other American cities, and they're like, it's terrible. It's just terrible. I'm sorry.
Move to Omaha.
I don't want to tell you that it's really good over here. Like, we're good. So funny.
Yeah,
man.
how many cities put a $500 million park in their town? Right? It's just so cool that, I'm just always,
Leahy Mall now too, and like all the way down to the Ribbon and all this stuff. Like it's super cool.
It's super great. It's a great place to be from and come back to. And
congrats on I mean, dude, like in a year, like what I just to put a number to our listeners, like how many deals you put together a year?
Oh gosh, we do 100 to 150 a year, so that's kind of fun. You don't think about it until you're like, oh, you touched this many people.
Number.
Yeah, then you're like, okay, 100, 150 doesn't seem like a lot, but you're like, oh, it's a lot of families in town, type of scenario. And it goes by fast. And because of my job, it's allowed me to talk to people and get in front of people and then approach people like Nick's just, in college, God, you couldn't get me to talk to someone. I mean, I'd be scared to death to go talk to a person. Now everybody's like, you're scared to talk to people? Like, not anymore, but it just takes that time to do it, and people get out of their comfort zone and connect and just make sure people know what's out there.
It's such a beautiful thing, man, that like you actually just see that. And now it's just inherent.
Yeah, you just go.
You're going to go say hi. And 20% maybe, so that's okay.
Yeah.
But dude, you changed him in a way.
He had it in him. That's the whole thing. Like the people have it in him. You just got to get it out and just go. I mean, we talked that first night for like 2 hours and he just had no clue that there was things out there. And that's what's so weird to me. I'm like, hey, we're trying to be out there like you guys are trying to be out there.
Yeah.
But if those worlds don't intersect, you're right. Yeah. It's just interesting that, Yeah, I'm glad he has. I mean, I'm glad he's done it because that's what we need is guys like that just keep growing and keep getting the awareness out in the city. It's awesome.
He's got his kids at the skate park now.
Yep.
So he's at the skate park teaching the kids. And then now his foundation brand actually has, it's got a skateboard
in it? Beautiful.
It's pretty dope, man.
Beautiful.
So I'm proud of him.
No, I'm so happy for him. He's doing well. That's what you hope for is that you want to see that every day. It's just successes are
You had a big part in that.
Well,
so
it's all good.
Thank you.
We both like pad thai, I guess. So I don't know. That's the thing that's chop it up to.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't? I'm a drunken noodle guy.
Oh,
I like
okay.
a little spice. Roberto, what do you get at the Thai shop? Nothing. What? That was the worst answer ever. Fine.
He doesn't eat Thai food,
No
I guess.
Thai. We're gonna get you. I'll get you, brother. Dude, this is such a blessing, man. What in the last piece, if you could just really drive home, man. Whatever hits your heart about telling people to just find inner will, find inner strength, no matter what they may be going through, or if you're not going through anything and you have the time, take care of yourself first. I've done too much this last year. My 2026 is actually simplifying things. I did too much, and that was a lot that has dropped on you there. But like, if you're struggling with something, or if you have the ability, like just trying to promote people to have that inner will to reach out, ask for help, find that community.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing is just ask for help or connections. I think a lot of people, especially males, right? I mean, we've all been told that, you just don't go ask for help. I mean, it's just kind of funny. You can see video after video of women asking guys like, who do you go talk to for your friends if you don't? Well, we don't talk to anybody. We don't talk to each other about this stuff. You just deal with it yourself. And and then it's hard. I think it especially carries over. I've learned from the adaptive sports world, just like we started this, was if you don't know how that person wants to be treated, ask them, right? And or if you see your friend, hey, is there anything I can help with, or you got anything going on? That's hard. That's really, really hard to do, but making some kind of effort to communicate and just try to ask for help or ask one of your friends, is there anything you're going through that I can help with? I think is huge. And that's where, to me, sports have always been that outlet to be able to be active and doing something. Like with my dad passing away, I got to be conscious of my health and all that stuff. And I don't want to get into, high cholesterol and all that stuff. So sports have always done that for me. So that's kind of always our push. Let's be active, but it's not fit for everyone. If there's a situation where you just love to do whatever it is, bike, skateboard, doesn't matter. Ask and find out who can be there and get a part of that group. Like you do F3. It's awesome, guys. I mean, just getting out and meeting different people and connecting and having an understand of a group. It's just a huge for your psyche.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Thanks. And I do, if someone, I think we live in this time that you look at people's phones and they have text messages that 500 unread, right? And I know, I don't want to take this out of proportion, but if someone reaches out, pick up the phone.
Yeah. Right?
I mean, there's a really good friend and I've just become really good friends with in the last 3-4 months, Brent, that, it was heartbreaking, but it made me feel really good, is that he's like, I've tried to create relationship with men our age, right? Having coffee, watching a game together, whatever. And he's like, you're like 2 out of 20 that picked up, and it's like, and so I do challenge people as well that you're not that busy. And actually, probably the coolest thing is having, dude, I know Brent now. I know Brent Rasmussen as a friend, right? That's one of the coolest things that's happening to me this week. And how many times people, because we're scrolling or looking at stuff that is never going to matter, stop and talk to that person, because you don't know.
Right.
You just don't know. So whether they've just had an injury and they need, they just, whatever it is, man, just take the time to put some human out there.
Totally. I totally get it. I mean, what I chalk it up to the other day is people like, what's the last show you watched? I'm like, I don't have time to watch show because I like staying busy and I'm always actively doing something and being and giving back. But that doesn't work for everybody. When people say they're busy, I'm like, let's give our schedule. There's nowhere even close you're going to compete on my schedule. Not that there's a competition for it, but it's like there's time to respond to those people. I do this once a year. I probably get my inbox down to no emails in my inbox. And my every text every day is read in my world. I mean, I'm responsive where that would drive me nuts, but you're right. There might be woods you missed in there that somebody needed something from you, and it's just like being a friend for a couple minutes isn't, that hard to do.
And it's probably going to be one of the most fulfilling things you're going to get if you just put this time away and spend it on that. That's so funny. You bring up TV. Like I got 15 minutes in the morning. That's it.
Get the news maybe. And
that's
sports
coffee.
or
That's
yeah.
it, man. Catch up on business news. And I people were talking about stuff and I was like, that sounds awesome. Landman. I guess Landman's super
I
cool.
guess I've caught a couple landmans, but
I need to. What was the Kevin Costner one? That was the last time I binged.
Oh, Yellowstone.
Yeah, that was awesome. But
Yeah.
that was like 7 years ago. So I'm behind, brother. Dude, this is an absolute pleasure. You're
Sounds
leaving.
great.
You're leaving on a red
Mexico, baby, tomorrow morning.
Enjoy it, man.
Thanks.
Enjoy it. Thanks for living life full. Thanks for joining us on the show.
Want to thank you for listening to Two Caring Gents. Well, real stories meet real people. Please subscribe, like, share, all the things. That only helps our channel and get that sense of empathy that's so important in our lives out. So thank you for listening. Until next week, take care.